All right, let's get real. Welcome to Over It and On Air. I'm your host, Kate, and today's episode is going to be titled The Quarter Life Crisis because the struggle is definitely real. Yes. We're going to be talking about everything involving being in your 20s, feeling stuck, maybe feeling behind, social media versus reality, and more. But before we get into it, I would love to just give a big thank you to everybody who is tuning in with me today. I am so grateful to be in this position. I have been dreaming about doing a podcast and just having a bigger audience in my life for some time now. And I'm just so grateful, blessed, and honored to have this opportunity to be able to do this with you guys. I hope you guys stay tuned for more episodes to come. We're going to be talking about everything from grief, mental health, heartbreak, life, love, friendships, and more. I plan on having plenty of different guests, so I just hope you guys stay tuned. And before we get started, I want to let you guys know that I will be uploading every other Friday on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and I'll also be uploading some clips on TikTok and Instagram. All right. And now we're going to get started. So I have a very special guest with me today for my first show. And it's my bestie, Jelani. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm feeling amazing. You look so good. I'm so excited.
Thank you, friend. You look so good, too.
So proud of you.
I'm so overwhelmed with joy.
Let's get it popping, boo.
I can't believe we're here. All right. So, as you guys know, I turned 25. So, I thought, what a better way than to start my podcast off with the quarter life crisis, because that's basically what I'm in right now. Okay. And I know that it's so many of you that are probably also feeling like you're in a quarter life crisis.
Absolutely.
So what is a quarter life crisis to you, friend?
Wow. The quarter life crisis is just really you still figuring everything out. I think that people assume that once you get to a certain age, you're just supposed to have it all figured out, and reality check, we don't right. Have it all figured out. We don't know all the answers. Sometimes you might not know like what to do with life or where to go, or
right,
and that's I think that's really just the quarter life crisis. Like when you sit down and you're really like, wow, what is my purpose for real? What am I doing here? How can I be fulfilled in this life, considering that I only get one?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I turned 25, and I mean, you're a little older than me, so I know that you have a lot more experience. But for me personally, I thought that my life would be completely different. Mm-hmm. Like 5 years ago, if you would have asked me, Kaylin, where do you see yourself when you turn 25? Girl, I'd have been married.
Bookie, what would we even
married? I'd have been living my dream life with my rich man. Like, yes, like you already know, because like we all have this idea of like what we want to be and what we want to achieve by a certain age. And then it's like you get there and you're like, oh shit, this is not what I thought it was going to be, because I didn't know 25 was going to look like this. Obviously, I just turned 25. But like just leading up into my 20s, literally nothing has went as I planned. Nothing. But we'll get into that. But nothing has gone as planned, but it's just a beautiful thing. So I want to get into some more topics about like our personal experiences and things like that. So what do you feel like some of your personal struggles like have been, just being in your 20s? So you're 26, you're going to be 27 soon. So like, what do you feel like your personal struggles have been? You TT now. You TT status clock. Get clock. So yeah, what are some of your personal struggles?
I would say my biggest personal struggle right now is really just figuring it out. Like, I feel like the quarter life crisis does not just stop at 25. Like you said, I'm about to be 27.
Lord, there's no hope for me.
I just feel like I'm still figuring it out. Like, every day I'm just praying to God, like, can you just reveal to me what my purpose is, Lord? Because I don't know what's going on. I'm just going through the motions. And I know you kind of spoke a little bit about, like, having this idea already for, like, what you want to do or what you want to be. I feel like when I was younger, the ideas were just, like, everywhere. I wanted to just do everything and be everything. And so now, after I graduated college, I'm like, oh, shit. This is the real world. What do I really do?
What do I do now?
I can't do everything that I want to say can't, because we're never going to say can't. But it's like doing everything that I thought. Like, I wanted to be a beautician at one point, and then a doctor. And then when I graduated college, and I was like, oh, bills? Rent?
Real bills.
Real bills?
In the middle of this inflation?
Oh, It's absolutely insane.
Girl, I don't know.
No.
I don't know how we do
I
it.
had no idea. So I feel like I'm definitely still going through the quarter life crisis. And I think the only thing I can do is kind of just lean in and try to listen to God and like figure out what it is that He's trying to tell me that my purpose is, because that's ultimately what I want to live by. Like, that's why I'm here on this earth, to live by whatever it is that He's telling me to do. So I'm still praying on it. So it's okay if y'all don't have it all figured out by the ripen age of
25 or 26 or 27.
Whatever the
or
range
30.
is.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, so I don't know. I just feel like, I struggle a lot with like comparison, and that's gonna kind of lead me into my next topic. So just about like social media, like we get on social media, you click on Instagram, you see people 21, 22 with
doing it big.
I'm talking about
big money, big cars, big penthouse.
money. Like the whole shebang. Like, and I think that like we often get so caught up in social media that like we'll see ourselves on, like we'll be on Instagram and it's like you see somebody else that is your age or maybe younger or maybe just a little bit older than you. And maybe they doing what in your mind you think is your dream. Like, this is my dream life. I mean, she got the car, she got the money, she got the love, she got the career, she got all these things. And it's like you start comparing that to yourself and then you feel like, dang, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Like,
Definitely.
Is this what my life is like? Is that all I'm supposed to do? Like, is this it?
And I definitely think that's why social media is dangerous. That's why you got to do a detox every now and again, because we don't know what those people did to get what they get. We don't know what they going through behind closed doors. It's like we see an image and that's all we can go based off of. Like, because even like myself, I'll be like, what am I doing with my life? I'm 27 and it's out here that's 21, 22, and they got penthouses and they driving around. They got big money. It's like,
big money. Like going on trips every month.
Am I missing something? I ain't never been to Turks.
Okay. I still ain't missing Jamaica shit.
And the young ladies being Turks. And so, but I feel like, I think that's, I don't know. I just miss the way that times used to be when it was like you just posted anything on social media just because it was fun. You was having a grand time. It's not like you were trying to appeal to a certain audience. Like, it's not like you were trying to be flashy. I don't know if you ever went to your old Facebook post. The Facebook post was Facebook posting. None of it made sense. And we was all just having a good time.
Right.
And now
like
it's all about
Instagrams.
like you're worried about what everybody else is going to think about you, how everyone else is going to see you or perceive you.
Yep.
And I feel like that can really take you off course if you start to get too consumed by it. You forget what reality is like, boo.
Yeah, no, for real. Because it's like you get on Instagram and it's like, oh wait, my eye don't look right in this picture.
Sick.
This angle ain't right. My edge on the left side look off than the right side. And it's like, okay, I'm not gonna
the pudge
is pudging, baby.
Suck it up.
That's another thing, boo. Nobody's talked about this weight that you gained. But anyway, so that's neither here nor there. But it's like, like you get on social media and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna post this because this don't look this way. Or it's like, I'm only gonna post things that look like this, like this, like this. So that being said, everybody is getting on social media and posting their best. Yeah. Nobody's getting on social media and being super vulnerable. Nobody's getting on social media and posting the worst of the worst. You're not gonna wake up in the morning while your breath's still hot and your hair all over the place and post a picture on your post. You're not gonna do that because you want to be perceived a certain way. And so saying all of that to say, it's like if everybody is posting their best, then it's like maybe we should take a step back and stop feeling intimidated or threatened by people that only post these great things like the money and the cars and the clothes and the trips, because it's like, you don't know what those people are dealing with. And one thing I have learned about being in my 20s so far is this peace of mind. Baby, the peace of mind is the priority. Like, that is, baby, all I be wanting at night. Let me just lay down and just be at peace, And it's not to say that everybody that has nice things or does nice things are, not at peace or whatever the case may be. But it's just like, worry about you. Figure out what your purpose is, and stop comparing yourself to people that you don't know. You don't know what they did to get that. You don't know what they're doing to keep that going, and you don't know what they're dealing with in their life. And so it's like, you can't be sitting up here wasting your time comparing yourself to people all the time. And I do think just as humans, we naturally do that because we're human. We're in the flesh. We feel things, and I feel like having that comparison is like a natural, like, instinct for us. But at the same
Definitely.
time, it's like we have to figure out a way to master getting out of that and not getting stuck in
Yeah.
comparison. Because
And I was just about to say that, like, sometimes it's almost subconscious. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have met, or know, I even know so many people that look at a picture so many times to point out every single imperfection, because they're thinking about what everybody else is going to point out when they see that photo.
Right.
Like, oh, okay, no, I got a little pudge on the side, or I might not get this many likes, or somebody else going to say, you know, they going to see that I got a little fat hanging out on the side.
girl,
It didn't used to be like that.
it didn't. And it's like you could sit up there and edit those pictures down, baby, like you a professional photographer. And somebody gonna still find something wrong if they want to.
Absolutely.
And or people might be like, she edited her pictures, and now that's something else for them to talk about. Like, so it's like no matter what you do, if people want to hate,
always are gonna have something to say,
whether it's good or bad. So it's
doesn't
like
matter.
come raw and come uncut, they gonna have something to say. You come photoshopped up, they gonna have something to say. You know what I'm saying? So it's like either way it go, people gonna talk, and let them
Absolutely.
talk. Let them talk.
Because who gives?
Who really cares? Who really cares? Because I don't. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the pressure of like perfection, or like just being perfect, or feeling like we have to be perfect, or everything has to be all right at a certain time by a certain, you know, age and things like that. So it's just like unrealistic expectations that society, social media, your family, or your friends place on us. And I want to talk about that because
Ooh, where should
why are
we
we
start?
abiding by somebody else's standards?
Where should we start?
Where should we start?
Well, I feel as though personally, I don't. I haven't had that experience where I feel like my family is expecting anything from me but to be great. Like, I feel like I'm harder on me than my family is. But I know some people that are like, yeah, my mom, my grandma, they keep asking when I'm going to have kids, when I'm going to get married. I'm feeling pressure because the dating pool is trash. The sassy men are out.
They're outside, ladies. Be careful.
Please. And they're like, yeah, they're wondering when I'm going to have kids. My mother has never said that to me.
My mama either.
She has never been like, okay.
But baby, my
when
mama
you-
young and turned. She not worried about me. She worried about herself. My mama is still lit and living her best life.
And is.
Me having hugged some grandkids only gonna slow her down. So she ain't worried about that, okay?
Yeah, a built-in babysitter, period.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Because come take care of them kids.
But I've never experienced anybody else putting pressure on me besides myself. And I feel like that does have a lot to do with like what we talked about with comparison. I feel like it's very much like I be seeing people and I'm like, wow, this is doing the damn thing.
No.
And what am I doing?
Right, and we literally have conversations like that all the time. We'll be on the phone and we'll be scrolling on Instagram, and it's like you see your friend from high school or somebody from college or somebody we know, and we like, damn, they married, they got kids, and we like, wait, we forgot that we are at the age where it's okay to have kids.
Literally just a 26-year-old teenager. I don't know
Literally,
who's supposed to have kids by now.
no, for real though. But it's just crazy because it's like we'll see other people doing stuff like getting married, having kids, whatever it may be, like buying a house or whatever. And it's like we start feeling like, damn, like the pressure is getting worse because I feel like now it's like, shit, okay, well, wait. When I'm gonna get married or when I'm gonna have kids. Hell, I don't even got a boyfriend. Like, you know, it's just like a lot that goes into that. Or like buying a house, like I'm enjoying we're in my apartment.
I don't even know what steps to take to buy a house.
Me neither. But it's just crazy because it's like we'll literally feel like we are like really under pressure. Like time is ticking, you know? And it's like we can't be thinking like that, friend. We can't. Like we gotta be on our own journey. We gotta figure out where we are. And it's like that might be where they at, but baby, that's not where we at. And that's okay. And that don't mean that any one of us are is further or
Than us.
you know, or behind. But it's like we can't be hyper focused on
Yeah, you're on your
those
own
things.
path, baby. You're running your own race. It's like the only person that you need to be catching up to is your future self, your purposeful self.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Clock it. And then I also think that like we just kind of get like caught up in like, again, social media, comparing ourselves to other people, society and things like that, where it's like we get so caught up in like not realizing like what is life trying to show us, what is life trying to teach us, what is God trying to show us, and we just get so caught up in society, social media, friends, and like what's popular and the trends, TikTok, Instagram, and we don't really like sit there and focus on like what did this heartbreak try, like what is the heartbreak doing for me? Like what is the lesson?
Yeah,
like what am I supposed to gain from this? Mm-hmm. What is my lesson? What am I supposed to learn? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's so crazy that you say that.
Wow.
Because, I've been going to church. Shout out to Blueprint. I've been going to church. Okay. And so the last time I went to church, the message was literally about people pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were basically saying, like, if you spend so much time trying to please other people, then you're basically taken away from pleasing God.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll come a time where you have to choose between either pleasing people or pleasing God, because you can't do both.
You can't.
Because sometimes, like, walking in your purpose and doing what God has called you to do, it may not be what other people expect it to look like. You know what I'm saying? Or it may not be what other people necessarily agree with. But, like, you have to have strength and be confident that, if you heard that from him and that's what he told you to do, you got to do it proudly and boldly, regardless of, like, what other people will think or what other people say. And I think people pleasing hinders a lot of people, because even like your family, you worried about what your family is telling you that they want you to do or how they want you to be or what success looks like for you to them.
Exactly.
And so essentially you're living your whole life not even probably doing something that you want to do or doing something that like makes you happy or doing something that's purposeful.
Right.
You're doing it for somebody else. Mm-hmm. And so if you like really want to live in your purpose and like live by God, you can't people please. Like you got to do whatever he's called you to do. You just got to do it. No questions asked, and it's gonna work out because that's the plan and that's the purpose for your life.
Seriously. And just speaking about people pleasing, like that's something that I have personally struggled with for years and years and years. And I think it may be something that's, connected to my childhood of just, being the kid that was, that did go further than my family. Mm-hmm. And I may have been smarter, quote, to them, than they ever been, or I may have been more successful at a younger age than they ever have. So I felt a lot of pressure maybe growing up. And so I always felt like, okay, I got to make them proud, or I got to make somebody proud. So then that led into my relationships, that led into my friendships, where I would feel like, okay, like, let me do this. Everybody has to be happy. Everybody has to be happy. And that's something that I'm still struggling with. Like at this point in my life, as we speak about quarter life crisis and being in your 20s, like people pleasing is such a big downfall for so many of us, because we are so focused on how we can make every single person happy in our lives. And then we forget about us.
And it's the reality of it is you can't.
No, and
literally,
you can't.
Everybody is not going to be satisfied. Literally. It's always going to be somebody that's upset about something. You cannot make every single person in your life happy. You cannot please every single person. It's unrealistic.
Yeah, it's very unrealistic. And it's like that's something I've, been working on through therapy and things like that. And just like as I get older and realizing like, okay, I done made sure my friend was straight, my mama, my daddy, my sister, my brother, my cousin, my boyfriend, all of them straight. And it's like, I'm burnt out. Yep, I don't have no energy no more.
Baby, your cup empty.
I have no energy. My cup is empty because I've poured and poured and poured into every single other person in my life, and I forgot about me. And that was my biggest downfall of being in my 20s so far. My biggest downfall so far is people pleasing. Oh, I'm going to make an excuse for my friend, or I'm going to make an excuse for my boyfriend. Like, okay, they're not going to do this for me just because they're not in a place to do that. But yet the expectations for me to show up are still high. Mm-hmm. And then it's like I'm still trying to please them. I'm still trying to make sure they're happy no matter what. And then it's like I look back at the end of the day and I'm laying down at night thinking about all these things, and I'm over here like, okay, now I didn't spend all this time making sure everybody else was straight and nobody made sure I was straight. Yeah. And then I also think that led to, people in my life, like my family, my friends, and relationships, them thinking that I always got it done no matter what.
That's what I was literally just going to say. I was just going to say that there's a misconception that like strong people don't need anyone. And that's not true. Like I feel like strong people need people the most.
No, and we do.
And, people assume that because you're strong or you look like you got it it all together, that like you don't need help, or you don't need somebody to check in on you, or you don't just need somebody to ask you how you are. Or maybe you don't need to just, let out a tear or so every now and again, because baby, I'm a crier and I don't care about crying.
Baby. And that's me all day long, baby.
If that's what I gotta do to get it out, baby, that's what it's gonna be.
Right. And yeah, so I just feel like that led to people, thinking that like, oh, she's strong, like, so she got it all together. Oh, she don't need anybody to call her, like, oh, so I'ma call her when I need something because I know she can handle it, or I'ma depend on her because I know she gonna be able to get it done. And I feel like that is the culture that I've created with my relationships, whether it's platonic, romantic, and my family. Whereas like they always feel like they can lean on me and depend on me, because one thing about Caitlin, I always get it done, and I nobody but God that I always get it done. However, that does not mean that I don't need that support sometimes. That does not mean that I don't need a shoulder to cry on. That does not mean that I don't need a phone call or a checkup. And that does not mean that I can't come to you just because I'm strong and I have it figured out, because I don't have it figured out. And that's something that you have to tell the people in your life, like, hey, I don't have it figured out. As much as I, may make it seem like I got it all together, and as good as I may make it look, I don't. And I'm not okay. And it's ugly right now. And it's dark right now. And I don't have it together. And I need you to be there for me instead of me always being there for you. This is my time. This is my season where I need to lean on you. You've leaned on me all year long. You've leaned on me all this time. You've depended on me. You've called me for advice, and I've showed up time and time again. But where are you now? I need you to show up.
Now, I also think sometimes people can't handle that because you are used to being the one that's strong. I feel like people can't handle when you're at your darkest. Like, they don't know how to support you like you're able to support them. Yeah. And that's why you got to start surrounding yourself with people that can.
Yeah. So surround yourself with people that are, that are like-minded like you, that understand that, this is a relationship. When you're in any sort of relationships, again, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, whatever it may be, that it's give and take and everything. Absolutely. So it's like, right now, I can only give 20 and you gonna be my 80.
Yeah, you have to.
Because one day you may only be able to give 30, but I got your 70. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's just reciprocal. We have to be able to reciprocate that with one another. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, that's just the biggest thing when it comes to people pleasing, and just making sure that you stay balanced and you stay grounded, and you're not overextending yourself excessively for people time and time again.
Because baby, you'll lose yourself.
Lose it. Lose you. Lose everything. Girl, okay. But yeah, so like, one thing I did learn also about in my 20s so far is like therapy. Therapy has been my biggest help alongside of God. But in the natural, therapy has been such a big help for me. I started going to therapy when I was 20 years old, when I was leaving out of a very, very toxic relationship. And I was just really not in a good place. I was going through depression. I was leaning to alcohol for a lot of my free time to just, take my mind off of things. But I started going to therapy, and it's been almost 5 years where I've pretty much been in therapy consistently. I've taken some months of a break at a time, but overall I've been in therapy very consistently for like the last 4 to 5 years.
That's amazing.
And I feel like that has been a very, very big part of my growth and my emotional intelligence and maturity. Because like, a lot of the things that I'm talking about right now, I probably would have never had the capacity to think of or say years ago. But that's just been a big outlet for me. So what do you think some of your outlets are when it comes to, the things that you deal with in your everyday life that are just hard, and, when you're trying to work through your issues?
So I was also in therapy. I want to say maybe a few months ago, but y'all, therapy is expensive.
Unless you got insurance.
And I do have insurance.
Would depend on what kind, y'all. Because my insurance, I have a very small copay, so it's real easy. But I know yours was more expensive than mine.
Yeah, $150 a session.
Absolutely not. I couldn't do it. See, take the zero off. That's how much mine is. $15. $15 copay, and it come out off that card. I don't even know when, but it comes out, and I get to see her. So it's like, even if I wanted to do every week, that's just $60 a month. Yeah.
But I really think it's about just finding things that just bring you a small ounce of peace. You know what I'm saying? So for me, reading. I love to read.
This a bookworm, y'all.
I love to read me a book, and I feel like me reading is that's something that I've recently discovered that brings me peace. Also doing puzzles. I enjoy. Yes, I've been enjoying doing puzzles. Just like, and I'll combine them, baby. I have the audiobook going while I'm doing your puzzle.
Period.
Yeah, I think that's been great for me.
Yeah.
Just finding something to occupy my time, because I feel like my mind is always running like a mile a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I really don't even realize it. Like, I don't know if you ever been on your way to work and you realize the whole ride you had no music on.
Yeah. Because that's just where we at when we in 20 to 25 and up. You just be wanting some peace and quiet, and you don't even realize.
Baby, because your mind is like...
It's just your mind going, baby. You don't need no
going a
radio.
mile a
Cut the
minute.
off.
You didn't even know. Baby, your internal monologue is monologuing.
And did you know
had
that
no
everybody
idea.
does not have an internal monologue? So if y'all don't know what we talking about, baby, just sit back. Because that's crazy.
I did discover that.
That's insane.
And that's... Because who voice you don't hear in your head?
Because I don't understand how somebody could literally just be, with themselves, and you don't think nothing to yourself. Like, there's nothing that's talking in your head. And
But also, what voice do you hear?
Right. If you hear any.
Do you hear your own voice?
Right. And if you don't, then who voice you hearing?
No.
Because that's crazy.
I'm asking you.
Oh, me. Yes. I hear my own voice.
I hear my own voice too, but apparently there are people that do not
That's crazy to me.
hear their own voice.
That's insane.
Because who voice do you hear?
Because I thought it was
your own.
normal, but I realized that people don't have that.
Yeah, for the people out there that do not have an internal monologue, what is that like for you?
What is it like? Because do you think about anything? Like, and if you do think things to yourself, who's talking, if anything? And if you don't, then it's like you just don't think nothing. Like, you just blank all the time.
Do you say everything out loud if you not thinking stuff in your
Or do you just live in a
head?
mind where nothing bothers you? Because that would also, like, I wish I
Just
could...
blank? Like
Right,
nothing? Oh,
That's
no.
scary.
Mm-mm.
Because you're not thinking nothing. Girl, that's crazy.
Yeah, I want to meet someone. We
Me
might
too,
need-
that does not
we
have
might
that.
need to bring somebody on. Like
Right,
that,
we gotta bring... Yes, maybe we should bring somebody on the show who
That does not have an
does
internal
not...
monologue.
Yes, on this
Yeah,
podcast.
that's insane.
Period. But yeah, so some of the things that I think that have helped me tremendously with, just releasing and like letting go of perfection and things like that have been pretty much like the biggest thing is like the gym. So like
Okay.
as we all know, and y'all know because y'all been sliding up on my stories supporting me so much and just giving me words of encouragement when y'all see me working out, saying that y'all see progress and y'all love my consistency, etc. I so appreciate that. However, yes, the gym has been a really big part of my healing, just because like not only is it like a physical exertion, but it's just like mentally, like it's a place where I can just let go and I can just be in a different world, you know what I'm saying? And then it's also very healthy and things like that. But being consistent in the gym has been a really big part of it. Obviously I already said therapy, and I do read as well. I don't read as consistently and as often as you because I just be having so much going on.
And she can crochet.
Yeah.
By the way.
I be crocheting, y'all, in my free time. Girl, I got a Nintendo Switch. I play my Nintendo Switch. Girl, I journal. And then I get on the phone with my friends. Like, that's
I have not
also
been
a
able to
way.
get into that.
Journaling?
Yes.
I love writing it down. And then also, like, something that has helped as well is, like, when I'm on my therapy session, I'll take notes. Like, if it's certain things and key points that she'll say or things that she wants me to think about or reflect on, I write that down. Because it's really a good help. Like, when you spending time by yourself. But yeah, girl, I do all that, and it all helps me and pleases me in different ways, and I love that. But also, like, just get on the phone with your friends sometimes, like let's talk about that though, because I realize everybody does not have a friendship like our friendship.
That sucks for them.
That really does suck, and I really deeply apologize because this is my platonic soulmate. Like, when I tell y'all this is the one human being that gets me, it does not matter right or wrong. It doesn't matter because even if I'm wrong, she gonna tell me I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
But she's going to understand my feelings behind me being wrong. She's gonna somehow sympathize with me in some sort of way, and where she can relate, she empathizes with me, and she just literally gets me, and I'm the same person to her. And it's like, if you find you a friend that's not gonna judge you, that's not gonna get tired of hearing your mess, not gonna get tired of hearing your thoughts, your struggles and things like that, somebody that's gonna hold you accountable, obviously, but somebody that you could just be your comfort person. And that may not be a friend, that may be your brother, that may be your sister, that may be your mama, your coworker, whatever, whoever. But that's also a really good release because it's a comfort place for you if you are already comfortable with them, and it's like we could just kick it and talk. It's nothing too serious. If you're not ready for therapy yet, then maybe start by just, taking sessions and times to talk to your friends and releasing and just not holding back, because I understand therapy is not for everybody, and not everybody thinks that therapy is a good thing. Not everybody is open to therapy. I do want to give some encouragement to just be open-minded when it comes to therapy, because I think that, it is uncomfortable to sit in front of a stranger and open up your whole entire life and be raw and
started
uncut.
From childhood and up.
Right, and just being raw and uncut, like the ugly parts of you. Like, when you go on a date, you're going to sit down and you're going to tell that man or that woman every good thing about you. But you're not going to do that when it comes to a therapist. You don't need to do that. That's not what that's for. I will say, do not start therapy if you are not ready. Because when therapy is work.
You have to be ready because they're going to eat you the up.
And therapy is like a relationship. It's 50-50. Like, you gonna give me this and I'm gonna give you back this, and it's a work. It's work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not easy. But, just be open to it, because I feel like therapy has been a really great help, because it's that person that's gonna sit there that does not know you from a can of paint, and they're gonna give you the most unbiased.
I was just about to say
unbiased advice.
You might get red.
You will. And you gonna cry, because I cried on that couch.
Oh, no, you have to be okay with being red. Girl, my first session, all the lady said was, "How are you today?" And I was like, I just don't even know.
I'm not good.
I don't know how I am.
No, really. But I just think that, like, it's a building a relationship. Like, me and my therapist now, we so cool. We get on the therapy session. She be like, "How you been?" I be like, "Girl,
let me tell you,
life has been lifing, okay? I can't. Like, what's going on? Girl, the job stressing me out. The dating scene sucks here in Dallas. It really sucks. Like, my mental health sucks. Girl, I'm not eating 3 meals a day." Like, I talk to her like she's a homegirl, but it's like, that's really what it is. And it's like, that's the opportunity for you to sit in front of somebody and not have to worry about hearing none of their mess. When you get on the phone with your friends and they be that person for you, you got to know at some point in time, your friends are going to expect that to be reciprocal. They're going to expect, okay, I can call her because she called me, and I'm going to be able to vent to her. And we're going to be able to chit-chat and talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
But I also think, too, speaking on friends, please don't call your crash out friend.
Don't call
your crash out friend, her or him, whoever it may be. Because even though me and Kay are able to sympathize and empathize with each other, she's going to be like, "Friend, I could see how you would feel that way, but that was still up, and you need to apologize." Or, "Friend, I don't think you went about that the right way. I understand how you feel, but you could have communicated that differently, or you could have said this in a different way, or your tone could have been a little different. Like, girl, did you say it like that? Okay, no. We need to figure out how we could fix the situation." It's like, in a sense, we're a team, but also she's not my crash out friend. She's not gonna just, definitely not a yes man, either one of us. We not gonna be like, "Oh, girl, you was right. Whatever you say, it was right." Maybe in public, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, yeah."
Oh, in public, I'm defending my friend all day long. And that's something else that y'all need to work on, respectfully.
Yeah.
Because don't be doing that to your friend. If y'all out or something happens, especially if your friend had a little bit to drink and she did a little too much, you get her in line.
I'm going to be up. That's my friend now. But watch her.
Watch her. That's my friend now. We not going to disrespect her. But don't do too much.
When we get home, bitch, don't want to fuck up.
Why would you do that? Now you know you was wrong. So y'all need to hold y'all friends accountable.
And you don't remember following all,
because I done had some times. But she always on me by my tone, y'all. It's never what I say, but it's my delivery and how I say it. Because
very aggressive. We can be spicy. Somebody just described me that way the other day too. They were like, "Oh yeah, you're a friend."
Oh, you're very spicy.
They're like, "Your friends are so calm and you are so."
No, that's literally spicy. How people describe me too. They'll always be like, people will be like, "Why are you so sassy? Why are you so spicy?" Like, if somebody approach me, it's like I'm automatically on defense. Like, what you want? Like, who? What?
I think we're just naturally aggressive, and it takes a certain type of person to be able to put up with us. But I don't think that's a bad thing.
No,
baby, either you can handle it or you can't.
Period. Because it's like nobody's sitting up there like, getting on somebody's neck about being soft-spoken and too nice. But it's like you let people run over you. It's pros and cons to every trait.
Absolutely.
So don't be getting on me about being aggressive, because I know how to be assertive when needed. I'm the type of person, I'm not leaving that drive-through until I check that bag, because I want my food cooked how I ordered it. I'm not letting that pass. I don't let about nothing slide. Because don't do that. You like that, friend?
No, do I check the bag to make sure the food hot?
Like if you go to Popeyes and no, not hot. No, not hot. But like say for instance, you order something and you want to look and make sure
So I definitely do look to make sure that everything is there. But sometimes I just be like, you know what? I don't want to complain today because I'm the one that's gonna send the food back. Hey, excuse me.
Oh, you definitely. Oh, baby, you gonna send that food back every time.
I didn't order this.
No, baby, you gonna send the food back even if you did order it.
I didn't.
If you take a bite, you don't like it. Absolutely not.
This not cooked all the way. Excuse me. I'm sorry. This is a little bland, baby. Can we try something else on the menu? And I'm the same way for my friends, baby. If your food came and it was supposed to have one thing in it.
Hey, she was supposed to have. She ordered her steak medium well. This is medium well done.
Can we can we go fix this? Can we cook this again? What can we do?
Right. What can we do to fix this? I got the solution.
Yeah. What's going on?
No, but I think that's a beautiful trait to have because it's like in times where if you are always letting people just get by with stuff, or if you just so nice to where it's like, oh, this not what I ordered, but it's okay, I'll eat it. It may be simple, like on paper, we'll be talking about, it seems very shallow. However, I think that it's very important to have that, assertiveness, because it's like, if you don't, then you're going to always allow people to run over you. You're going to always get the short end of the stick. You're going to always not be unsatisfied. And I feel like that's where this trait comes in and it's beautiful.
Oh, but you know what speaking about this makes me think of?
What?
So you know how we are literally the same person in different bodies. Like
yes.
we know this about each other, and
yeah.
I think people that like see us all the time, they know this about us too. But I also think too, and what I've noticed is that it is perceived different when you are aggressive versus when I am aggressive.
Okay, let's talk about it. What do you think?
Girl, we ain't living in a world of colorism. You remember that time we went to that game and you was badgering those men that was in front of us. We just be talking to anybody.
This was TSU?
Doing anything. Yes.
Oh, this is so long ago.
Girl, we be talking to anybody doing and saying anything, baby. We'll talk to a stranger.
So basically you feel like, I'm lighter. I'm a little, obviously, a fair skin tone woman. You think that men may be more like accepting to my like sassiness or aggressiveness over yours because then they just want to put the angry black woman label on you?
But it's so crazy because I didn't realize it until I experienced it firsthand. Because like, obviously because we're best friends, we don't ever look at each other like, oh, my friend is light skinned or my friend is brown. Yeah. It's just like, bitch, it's my friend. This is my friend and she gonna be my friend till the wheels fall off. But it's like, I know that we're the same. I know that our approach is the same. We're both equally as like spicy. And it's like either you can handle it or you can't. And they be like, this lady is doing too much. But it's like, if you do, they be like, oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that. I've seen that before actually. Because I feel like I will be like, naturally being myself, like if a man approaches me in a club or whatever,
it's gonna be whatever it is.
I'm gonna say how I feel. And if I'm not like, if I don't want to talk to you, if I don't want to give you my number, I'm gonna express that. But it's like, I'm giving that off so you could back up, but you like that. You liking it.
Sick.
And I don't like that. Because it's like, baby, I'm telling you back up and you not. And you like, ooh, where you from? I like that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like if you do it, they like, damn, nigga ain't even did you nothing. What you doing all that for? Like, and I've seen that firsthand with us, like being out.
What's so crazy, when I went out recently, girl, this man tried to grab me and I was already drunk. It was just
absolutely
like
not.
instinct for me to turn around and slap the shit out of him.
Did you slap him?
No, I did, for real.
In his face, friend?
Yes, slapped him in his face, for real.
Now, friend, we got to talk about that when this podcast over.
For real, because the girls that I was with, like my homegirls, all they said,
friend, now why you slapped him?
And I'm looking at him and he looking at me. He said, hold on, do it again.
Oh, he liked it. See, well, that's a time where he, a man is a little more
that was
receptive
not my
to that.
intention. Bitch, don't touch me.
No, for real though, because if I'm doing all that, you need to back up.
Have you lost your mind?
You had to have lost
cool?
it.
He wasn't cool.
Oh my God.
And I it was just instinctual, but I thought it was gonna be one of them. I thought I was gonna have to cuss him out from A to Z, and he was like,
sometimes you might have to, friend. Sometimes you might have to do that, because no means no. That's all I gotta say.
People,
no means no. If I say no, I mean no.
I don't care what I got on, how I look. If you know me, if you know my friend, don't touch me.
Okay, I'm very glad that you said boundaries, because I would like to kind of wrap it up with talking about boundaries and just embracing imperfection. So set boundaries, y'all. Please, that's something that I've struggled with. I still struggle with, but I have gotten so much better at it. Setting boundaries. Like, know when you've had enough and you can no longer extend yourself. And the people around you should be okay with that, and they should understand that you don't have nothing to give right now. You know what I mean? So, like, have you had to, like, set boundaries recently in your life? And if you have, like, tell me more about that boundary.
Oh, I feel like that's something I'm still working on. You know how it's so much easier to, like, tell other people to do something?
Right.
Or, like, kind of walk them through how to do it, but you don't know how to do it yourself? I feel like that's literally me.
Yeah.
Like, I know sometimes when boundaries need to be set, but I also worry too, like, okay, if I set this boundary, how is this going to affect our relationship? Or, like, you know, what are they going to say? But I'm able to tell my friend, like, oh no, girl, you need to tell him that you don't like that. You need to set some boundaries.
Like,
I'm
you're able to set boundaries for other people that is not you, related to you. I get that. I think that's obviously easy. Just like it's easy to give advice that you probably can't take. But I think that setting boundaries, like, is so important. It's so important because
It is.
you have to know when you've had enough. And I think as humans, it's normal for us to think about, okay, how is this boundary going to affect this relationship, this friendship, or whatever the case may be. But you need to set those boundaries, because for me personally, the biggest boundaries that I've had to set, like, probably the last year or two in my life, is with my friends, because I'm that friend, baby. I'm gonna be at everything that you got. I'm gonna show up for you. I'm gonna answer when you call. If you need me to leave what I'm doing right now to come, I'm coming, because I'm that type of friend.
Yeah.
However, I can't do that. And I can't do that for you. And also knowing you not doing that for me. So that's a boundary that needs to be set. Or, you know what? I'm, like, really not in a good place in my life. I can't do that. Like, for me personally, I went through a really, really deep, dark time in my life just a few months ago with grief and things like that. And I couldn't be there for my friends. I couldn't show up for nobody. I couldn't call and check on them because I was not okay. But I've only would have ever been okay with that if I would have never learned.
Yeah, if you had to have that experience
Exactly.
in order to
know or it's like I would have never been okay with setting that boundary if I had not, like, gone through the things I've been through and been through therapy and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's like I had to learn, like, Kayleen, you can't show up for them. You can't make it out to the hookah lounge tonight. You can't. Or, you know, I couldn't even make it to the gym, and that's okay. And setting boundaries with yourself will understand. And it's also like setting boundaries with yourself, like. I know, like, the gym don't got nothing to do with my friends. It don't got nothing to do with my family. But I'm not in a place right now where I can handle going to the gym because I'm not mentally okay. And I can't even physically eat right now. So I'm not going to make myself or overexert myself by going to the gym.
Yeah.
But that one day that I felt just a little bit better, I went to the gym. And then it's been consistent since.
That's good.
But I just think that it's important to, you know, just set boundaries with people around you, set boundaries with yourself, and healthy boundaries. These do not have to be, you know, harsh boundaries, or you don't got to be rude or mean about it, but healthy boundaries that will feed you, help you heal, help you grow, and all of that.
And I'm glad you said rude or mean, because I was literally going to say it's okay for you to communicate your boundaries. But also considering that you would be communicating to, like, people that you love and care about, you also want to have a certain tone. Tone is just so important all the time, and people do not realize how important tone is.
Yeah.
It can literally make or break the message. And so you want to make sure that your tone is, I want to say, proper. You want to use the proper tone when you're trying to communicate your boundaries, because you don't want the message to get lost. I want to be able to say exactly what I'm trying to say. I want the message to be portrayed exactly what I mean.
Exactly.
But I also want it to be said in a way that you'll perceive it. You know what I'm saying? So if I am communicating a boundary, I'm not going to come at you sideways, because you're not going to hear what I'm saying. You're not going to perceive it that way. And now I could have potentially just tarnished, you know, a relationship because I didn't work on my tone. And so you know that whenever we have to say something tough, baby, I'm texting you, okay, how can I say this?
Please, does this sound good before I send it?
Before I say, tell me if this come off. And we be like, okay, no, that sounded a little.
Yeah, you've corrected me multiple times.
That's a little harsh, baby. Maybe we could take this part out.
Because we're emotionally led. We're humans. We feed off of our emotions. But that's why you be needing them friends to come in with that logic. sometimes to correct you, because it's like I'll type a message because I'm feeling this way and I need to get it off my chest, but it's like you'll come in and be like, I understand you feel like that, however you need to change your tone, or that sounds a little too harsh. And it's like I'll be like, shit, I'm trying to let them know how I feel, because this is how I feel. I don't care about how they feel.
Yeah.
But it's like afterwards I look back and I'm like, I'm glad I was a little more logical about that, because now when the feelings die, when those emotions die off and things like that, you want to make sure that you were being logical as well. Like, yes, it's okay to have some emotions in it, because you obviously you have to have those emotions to communicate that. But at the same time, like, don't just overreact or just go absurd on somebody because you just going crazy.
You know what's always my favorite question to ask you whenever we have those conversations? What do you want the outcome to be? That's my favorite. I'm like, okay, so you saying this and you want them to hear this, but what do you want the outcome to be?
Right, like, are you okay with this person not being in your life at all no more? Or are you ready for this relationship? Or are you ready for, what's going to come with this? And you have to ask yourself those questions.
Yeah, what do I want the outcome to be? When I'm communicating my boundary, am I communicating this to let you know that, like, okay, maybe this is something that we can work through, or I'm telling you that, like, this is what I said, this is what it is, and I don't care how you perceive it. And if you setting it that strong, you got to be ready to lose somebody behind it if that's the case, if they don't receive it the way that you intended it to. So every single time, I'm always like, okay, I understand you want to say this, you want to type up this message, I'm gonna help you, but what do we want the outcome to be?
And you ask me that every single time. You'll be like, okay, this sounds good, but are you communicating this to end this friendship, to end this relationship, or is this something that you're willing to work on?
Yeah.
And then that should direct how you speak and what you're going to communicate with that person.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. Being in your 20s is really rough. I've been hearing that the 30s is the new 20s.
And I was just gonna say, I seen on Twitter that I'm technically like OB age. It's not giving OB. But I'm excited for 30 instead. I don't know. 27 is real ghetto. Inflation is high. Eggs is $8.
Milk is 10. And we ain't gonna talk about rent.
No, please.
We can't. And gas.
Gas. Car insurance.
I mean, the popcorn at the movies. It's insane, y'all, for real. But it's really rough, and also we're in a different time than maybe our parents were in. So, like, being in your 20s right now is hard. Like, you got the pressure of the world. Social media is something that did not exist when our parents were 20.
Baby, they was all outside having fun.
Right, they was meeting up at the skating rink and stuff. But it's like, it's so much pressure on us being in your 20s, where it's like you have social media and you have this on TikTok and you have these couples and you have these friends and these lives that people live, and you're feeling so like behind and stuck, like, and we feel like we should be at a certain place by a certain time, or we feel like, oh my God, I'm 25, I'm finna die, like my time is up, I'm 100 now. Like, no, and that's not how that works. But we need to give ourselves grace, like, and that's something that I've also learned and I'm still learning because it's still hard, but just giving myself grace, because yes, I may not be at this certain point that I thought I would be, but I'm blessed and I've learned so much, and I wouldn't be where I am if I hadn't gone through those things.
If
like,
you didn't have those experiences.
I had to move back home to go to nursing school. I didn't want to move back home. I was a 4.0 student in high school. I felt like I deserved to be wherever I wanted to be, but I did. But it's so many great things that came out of that. I started my lash business. I bought my first car on my own, and then I was able to focus and be home with family. And I didn't know that I was going to need that support, and so that helped me out so much. You know what I'm saying? And
you've been flourishing ever since.
But it's like, I've been through really hard things in my 20s, like from planning a funeral for my brother and just going through all the things that I've been through. It has been really rough. Like, it's not easy at all. But I just think, learning to give yourself grace is very important, because we all deserve some grace.
Absolutely. That's great.
All right. How you feel, friend?
I'm feeling amazing. I'm excited for what this next chapter of 27 has in store for me.
Yeah, your birthday's coming up soon. I'm really excited. 2025. I'm really excited. I feel like I've been through so many hard things like the past 2 years that, like, I feel like 25 is my year to flourish and just like really, really, really like dive into my purpose. And starting this podcast is so exciting. I'm so excited to share everything with everybody and to just continue this journey. But yeah, I'm excited, friend. Like, I just feel like it's my time to just like, just.
No, and you deserve it.
I can't even get the words out because I'm just so excited.
No,
I'm at a loss for words.
This is. I know that it's going to be everything that you want it to be and more. Just like when we had that conversation, I was just like, you may not see in yourself what everybody else sees in you. I feel like I always see your potential. Like, and whatever you want to do, I'm always 10 toes behind it. Like, I feel like you deserve everything in the world and so much more. And I think that you are going to get it.
Oh, thank you so much.
So you just need to start seeing in yourself what I see in you.
I'm working on it, friend. I'm working on it.
I know, baby.
Well, I really just want to give you a big thank you for coming to my first ever episode of Over It and On Air. And I wouldn't have wanted anyone else to be on my very first episode because you're amazing. And I know our conversations just flow naturally. We don't have to really do too much. But yes, I'm so grateful and I'm just thankful and I'm excited.
Yes,
so, yeah.
I look forward to being on more episodes, hopefully.
And you will, baby. Clock that. Clock that. No, but no, I just want to give a big thank you to everybody who has tuned in. Whether you're watching on YouTube, you're listening on Apple or Spotify, I'm really, really, really grateful and blessed to have started this podcast. And I have so many great things planned and I just can't wait. So yeah, shit got real today. Tune in.